and afternoon to all of you who have joined us today. And thank you for joining in. It's another Saturday, another interesting topic, and another talented speaker we have with us, and an expert, I would rather say. So, we have a very interesting topic lined up for today. And I'm Rashika, one of the co founders at ProApp. And the topic today is a guide to enter the UX industry for the in the next 1 hour, right? It won't be do this, do this, do this, and then only you'll understand. So it's a beginner's guide, which along with it, it's Anil, who is with us, is gonna give insights about his 17 years of journey in the industry, and I hope you are really going to enjoy this one. So Anil is currently working as a design manager in IBM, and it's one of my favorite ex-employers. IBM with us. He has a solid 17 years of experience with an expertise uh, uh, in UX, and having a empathetic viewpoint, innovative problem solving techniques to develop products and experiences that people genuinely like using. He's a fervent supporter of design thinking and has implemented the top UX techniques into his creations. In addition to this, Anil is a strong leader who inspires others to step outside their comfort zone and succeed in fields of expertise. Anil, the stage is all yours. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you very much, Rashika, and this is a great honor that you guys have asked me to take this session on. And when before I start, I just tell you the reason why I just chose this topic, because most of the time, there is a lot of resource that we find in taking what the user experience process is all about. What are the methodology, the tools that we use, and all those. But I found that because the audiences are like what we just mentioned before, the audience, it should benefit the audience to the maximum. So that is the reason why I thought
Right.
that I love all the experience that I have in this industry, and talk about what exactly is happening, the past, the present, and the future, and are we ready on this? How we move forward? What are the things that we have to look forward, and all those. I'll just share my screen before I
Yeah.
start. So the topic for today is definitely the UX industry. Knowing the UX industry, the career, it's kind of a beginner's guide that I have named it, but you can definitely have or see it as intermediate also. Uh, how to get into the industry and all that. So I'll just talk about what you can expect from this session. You will be knowing what the present, past, and future of UX design is all about. As far as I know, and with the research and all the things that is happening in the UX industry and towards the UX industry, how to get started as a UX designer, what to expect from the industry. Expect in the sense it's not regarding the salary and all of that, yeah. And how to apply for jobs as a UX designer. I mean, most of you guys are freshers, right? So in that case, and how to excel in your career as a UX designer. So those are the main area that we would be touching on. So before we go into the area of UX design, I would or to all these points, I would just like to give you a past history of how UX design started. Okay, this is, you need to understand this before you go forward on anything. History is always important. Yeah. So I'll just go towards that. Uh, as most of you might have heard that it started with a feng shui and all those, but I don't want to go towards that. Let's take something in the near future which makes or which makes more sense to us, more relate to us, which relates more. I mean, in the 19th century, when there was, industries coming up, their manufacturing has to, their profit also should turn over more. So people like Henry Ford and all those industrialists, what they did is they started worrying about how, to make labor more effective in their industries, in their factories. So that is where it all began in the modern age, by improving the way that they worked, how effective, how efficiently they can do it. And after that, in 1943, the Bell Telephone Laboratories, now you name it, or it's under the Nokia right now, and later it was called as AT&T Bell Laboratories, and they hired a psychologist, John, named John, John Carlin, and he was the person who started with the. I mean, it was the telephone industry who introduced this the modern kind of user experience into, and they transformed their dialing system, telephone, there are 1 2 3 4 those things and all those, and
Sorry, Anil, to interrupt. Actually, the audience is saying like you have not changed the slide, so they're thinking they're still seeing the cover slide.
they're still seeing the cover slide.
Right.
Okay, okay, I'll just share that then. Are you able to see the slide right now?
Mhm. It's just the UX industry and career. The front slide we are able to see. Uh, yeah,
Right now.
now it is. Now we can. Yeah, the
Okay,
past. Yeah,
I'll not go into the play mode then. I'll just keep it like this and then we'll share it. Fine.
sure, sure.
Okay, okay. So then in the Bell Telephone Laboratories, like I was talking about. So it was there, and then the PC revolution came in. So just imagine that computers was so hard to use at that point of time, and people like Apple, Microsoft, they wanted to give or revolutionize. They're the people who revolutionize the modern age, right? Uh, One of those people or two of those people, and for them using computers for a layman was a tough task. So that is where again people like Nielsen Norman or Don Norman, they entered this industry. They were working for Apple, and they were the people who were trying to simplify how they could make the PC user experience good. And in 1993, Don Norman, most of them might have heard or might be familiar with, and I mean, definitely you should be familiar with. And he's a cognitive psychologist who termed the coin user experience. So that's pretty much the past to be very brief about. And it's mostly the present scenario and the future that we want to talk about. The present is what we have to be in and strive ourselves to go forward. So talking about that, the present state of UX, what exactly it is. So how, if you want to know the present state of UX, definitely you want to know the measurement of that and all those things. So when we go about that, in an article from McKinsey, not an article actually, it was a research done by McKinsey. They had done a research on how user experience has been calculated and how effective it is. So to know the present, we'll have to know this. So it is said that let me just, okay, 93 percentage of the, and they had it for 260 user experience leaders across the size of companies. Okay, for all size of companies, they did it with 260 CX, customer experience leaders, and 93 percentage of the people or the leaders still used the old methodology of validation of the customer experience. So they did it in that form. Okay, like CSS, customer satisfaction index, such survey methodologies is what they did, and you can see the result here. Only 7% of the customer voice is shared with the customer or the CX leaders. Yeah, and you can definitely see the result also there. So that means while using the old methodology or survey methodologies, survey methods, it is hard to get the right in or hard to infer to the right data to give the customer or make the customer experience good. And when you look at the other 7%, so those were the pioneering companies that focus more into the customer experience, and they were using modern techniques like they were using real-time data and AI and all those stuff, and they were inferring or having real-time knowledge of what exactly the users are doing or what exactly the users do want, or they were really empathizing on with the data that they had. So when you look into those, only those percentage have still come into the picture, and those are the companies that are still giving you the experience, or giving the people more experience, the real time experience that they want, and the rest 93 percentage are yet to get the data and they yet to go there. So that is the percentage that we want to know. When you look at the present and the future of the user experience design, the present state is that the asks for the UX designers or asks for user experience, as I told you, this 7% is increasing day by day. Yeah, that is getting increased. So the ask for UX designers is increasing. Yeah, design was, in the sense, just take even when I was, just take my experience, and then when I was starting my career, it was like the design was, there were a lot of developers out over there, to be very I just tell you in the layman term, there were a lot of developers out over there, a lot of people out of there, they used to design stuff, right? They used to define an app, not design an application, they used to define an experience, and then they used to code and then push it, and after that came people, or people like us, where we could enter it and then give an opinion of, okay, this cannot be like this. But mainly it was focused on to the developers end, or it was focused more on to how effectively we can develop and then push it into the market or give it to the client. So that was the main perspective. But right now, business, all the business, and that was the past, and right now what is happening is all the business has started realizing the return of investment, ROI, of user experience. Because that definitely started with the past, like I just told you, with the PC revolution, with the corona, with each milestone that happens in our history. These things started happening, right? The business started realizing the importance of user experience, and in the corporate workflow, they have started incorporating that also. Mm. And when you look into those, the user experience was good to have kind of a thing, 5 years back, but right now it is started changing from a good to have to a must have category. It has started to shift into that particular one. And in when you look into the job, or this also gives you an insight of how important is user experience design when it comes to each and every firm, each and every company, corporate sector, or whatever it is. Indeed.com, a website, when it did its research, they saw a 16% hike in the demand for user experience. So that is not a small amount. Yeah. And the corporates, and in the corporate industry, in each and every company, even in the company that I have worked for these many years, I have seen, or there are, the maturity level of user experience of design is getting better day by day. Or the corporates have identified that is definitely because of the ROI that is coming from the user experience, because of the huge demand that we have. So corporates have, or are trying to improve their UX maturity. Yeah. When I was just surfing through the net, and when I was just reading articles from Norman Nielsen, it is said that from 2017 to 2050, the number of user experience demand is going to get high. See, it's 1 million in 2017, and when you reach 2050, it's going to be 100 million people that is going to be needed for in this particular industry. And it's only because that user experience design is being seen as a problem solver. And it's not a problem solver where people sit around the table, make a decision with the minimum amount of data that they have. Rather, user experience, customer experience, they follow a methodology, which I hope most of you know. Follow a methodology where user comes in first, and we prioritize the user's need, empathize upon them, and what really do you, and you don't, or the designers never say that my design is the best, because design only works when it is useful, when it looks good, and when it is useful. Both has to happen at the simultaneously. When both works simultaneously, the design works, and when the design works for the user, then that makes sense. And there is a lot of people who is going behind that, and you have seen most of them through the said 7% that is coming out in the industry. So I'll just share you the graph from Norman Nielsen, the NN group. So this is the need of user experience professionals in the world that is going to go up, and just see where we are right now. And the growth is still to come. Yeah. So we are in the beginning phase, to be very, very frank and very legible with the quantitative data that we have. And it says, and the authoritatively and the authorities call for user experience design says that definitely this is just the growth that is going to come. Yeah. So we are in the beginning, and when we are on the beginning and we have such a huge surge that is coming up, are we ready for this? That is another question that we definitely want to answer. And with this, I would like to tell you that in this industry, when you ask the question, are we ready? This comes from my experience, the experience that I had in interviewing n number of people. I don't know how many I have interviewed, but n number of people that I have interviewed, the n number of colleges that I have visited, n number of colleges that I have interacted with, all India, yeah, it is all India, not beyond that, but all India universities, colleges, tier one, tier two colleges that I have interacted with the students that I have talked with the experienced designers, with the medium level experienced designers, with the freshers, everybody that I have interacted. I see that there are a number of categories that people come into this particular user experience field because of the demand that is right now. One, that is self-taught designers, experienced designers like me. At my kind of time, we didn't have a course called user experience designing. We had to be a user experience design, we needed to learn it by ourselves. So it was just not just a one day job. We learned it in the hard way of learning it. So we had to learn it by doing mistakes, by reading articles, by experimenting everything. I'll just tell you an example. In the earlier stage, we used to design all these things, or make this user experience design happen in Photoshop, in PowerPoint, maybe, to do all these things. And right now it's very easy. You have Figma, you have um, XD, you have everything. You have all these software which makes things very easy. Even when you wanted to give a red line document, that was also a pretty hard job. We have to measure each and every pixel, and then there was actions for that in Photoshop, but still it was a tedious job. But right now, I was just stating an example over it. Yeah. So self-taught designers are one category that come into this industry. Second is through tier 1 and tier 2 colleges like NID, IIT, MIT, Dhirubhai Ambani College, Symbiosis, XYZ. And there are also many other places that people come from. They get mentored from different experts that are in the industry. Like, we run a course, once in a quarter, that to train people, because we are not getting the right kind of people from the industry. So that is the reason why we also do that. Me and one of my friends, and apps like ProApp and other industry leaders do train people to get efficient in that. That is another stream of people who are coming in right now. And fresh graduates, of course, like I told, people from all these colleges, people who would like to transfer or need a transition from their current career. I have people, or I have trained people who were in the shipping industry, who wanted to have their career change into the UX industry. Uh, then there are a lot of people who wanted to change their stream. Software engineers are the main people who want to change their career into user experience, and that is what I have seen most, because they're close to the user experience realm, right? And they can relate it more easily. So a switch in career also happens in this. So that is also a stream of people who come into the user experience industry. Okay. Designers of various discipline, 95 percentage of designers, when we try to hire, uh, come from various other disciplines and say that they are claim that they are user experience design. It may be because This is not to hurt anybody. This is the reality, I would say. And why I'm speaking this out is because you need to know this. And if there are any person like that, definitely correct that, and let's improve or grow to accomplish our goals. So when you know web designing, that doesn't mean you know user experience design. That's completely different. Yeah. So there are persons who claim, user experience. I mean, graphic designers who claim that they are user experience designers, but the fact is that it's not. And however smartly you put yourself in front of the interview panel, definitely with experienced people, experience in hand, they definitely know what will work and what not. So these are the stream of people that come into the industry. And are we ready for this? Yes, we are getting ready for this. We are not satisfying the demand that we have in the industry right now, because like I said, 95% of the people who claim that they are experts in UX are not. So we are having a lot of scarcity. To be very frank, we are finding it hard to recruit people or get good people. Yes, if I float, or if we float as a company, if we float a request for user experience design worth 5 years of experience, or whatever experience it may be, yes, we will get a number of resumes. Yes, that is for true. But to find one person is very hard. One person who is really talented is really hard. And and that hardness is getting eased out in the days coming. Yes, because when I see it 4 years before or 5 years before, it was really difficult to get a person who knew user experience design. And when I compare it right now, yes, I can get somebody. And yes, what to expect and how you will have to behave, everything I'll just tell you in the coming slides. And yeah, so this is the demand that we have, or the stream of people who are coming into this, and such things. And if you want to be a designer, UX designer, what is that, or how can you do that? Yeah, how will you be able to do that? Like I told you, there are different people who do that, like self-learning, attending universities or colleges, tier 1, tier 2s, and all those things, learning from industrial expert, and who do all these. They go to college, they learn from, they learn their own, they make their own process, they go to the experts and do all these things happen. So what I would definitely tell or suggest is, I'll just tell you one scenario that happens in India. Of course, in India that happens a lot, and that is what I have seen a lot. So when you look at how you have to enter into a corporate industry, you can do it by a lot of things, like freelancing. You can do it by yeah, freelancing is one easy stuff that you can do if you have a strong portfolio. And yeah, that is one thing. And if you want to get into a corporate industry, it is always that you invest 3 or 2 years of your life in studying in a college, which gives you a degree for user experience, so that you learn it very well. You learn all the process very well. It's not just for you to get a certificate. No, you have to learn what you are doing, because this is not just something that, or this is or what you call, this is something that you want to give back to the company. If somebody is recruiting you, from the day one, they don't expect you to give from the day one, but they want you to be industry ready at least, right? Because investing a lot of money in again training you, or training you up again, is kind of something that will not work every time. But industries or companies are doing it right now, because of the pain that they are not getting the right candidates. But going forward, that will stop. Because, like I told you before, in the early times there were no colleges, nothing that was running all these things. But right now they have started doing it. And right now, yes, people are coming out with good quality. And if you have to survive with the competition, you have to know what exactly you are going to do. So that is really important. Study somewhere and you will get a good recruitment, and then go. Otherwise, what happens is, you will have to do it the hard way, where you learn all the stuff, learn it step by step. Go with a small company, then step on to the next one, and that you will have to strategize your career. But the plus and minus with both is, if you start in a small company where you will have to do everything, that is the most effective way of learning, or most effective way of having yourself challenged, I would say. Because yes, you will not get too much time to for your personal life and all those stuff. Yes, that is somewhere true, somewhere true to that. But in the long run, you will find it very useful. I'll talk about that in the slides that are coming forward. Okay, so these are the things that you will have to do when you are looking into this industry. And yes, learn, practice, practice, practice. Practice is the only thing that you can do there. Okay, and this is something that you will always have to do as well. Okay, and when you are going into any of these companies, or you are learning it from any of these sources, make sure that you do it by yourself rather than copying it from somebody else. Be genuine. Yeah, and try to do that by yourself, and try to make something which is part to the industry right now. Just don't, okay, I have just done it right now and I'm free from it, okay, fine, that's it, oh my god. No, the industry is getting tough day by day, and the processes are getting invented day by day. So you will have to be, or be par with that, and talk the same language. Okay, so practice is the best thing that you can do in doing that. And when we go into what to or how to enter the industry, yes, definitely you will have to make a portfolio and all those things. Yep, I'll come into that. And when you do about all after you have learned all these things, and how to enter a career, is definitely you can enter as a freelancer. You can enter a consulting organization. Both freelancing and consulting organization are the same, I mean, works in the same kind of a way. But consulting organization can be more structured. It will be having more processes according to the number, according to the market capital of the, or according to the size of the company. It differs. The processes, the decision making, the speed of decision making, the speed of everything, that depends. The product organizations that you have, like, consulting organizations, to be very precise, it would be kind of like companies like TCS, Wipro, Accenture, kind of that. They do also have products, but mostly they deal with the consulting engagements, where they do work for different other clients. Now, product organizations like IBM or like Adobe, those are the product organizations where user experience is most, the digital part is most used into. And yeah, so when working in all these things, freelance, consulting, or product, or whatever area that is, what you have to keep in mind is definitely know the role and responsibility. Okay, and also don't work if you are in any of these streams. If you are in any of these streams, you are self-taught and you are entering from a college, or transition from a job to another one. You're a fresh graduate, you are from a various, anything of that sort. Yeah, you always want to make sure that you do whatever comes your way, or get your hands dirty with whatever comes. You may have a notion. I'll tell you, this is a real true thing. Many people would say that, okay, I love to be a interaction designer. Maybe that has stuck you somewhere, but your real skill may lie in the visual design. Maybe that your real skill is in research. So what you have to say is, what I have seen in my career is, definitely people come and say that, I will only work as interaction designer. Please leave me. I don't want to, because I'm very focused. Yes, you need to get focused. That is really needed, or that is something you want to have as well. But my recommendation would be that try to explore yourself, what you're too good at. Maybe that you're okay. Maybe you think that you're good at interaction design, but it will only, or in the time being, you will be the best in visual design, maybe, or in any other form of user experience design that you will be expertised in. uh, Talk to yourself, talk with the peers, get feedback. That if you want to have your any of that, career path and all those things, I'll just come into. And yeah, explore whatever comes your way, explore the best in you. huh? and and in the industry, definitely it's, you will have to work as a team. That is for sure. It is not like, I am only going to work with designers. No, you will have to work with uh, different other stakeholders, in the sense, if you are in a consulting agency, definitely consulting, or in a product, you maybe in a freelance, you won't be able to do that, or you might not be, maybe you will, it depends. But in a consulting organization, in a a product organization, in an agency, definitely you will have to work with the developers, work with the testers, we work with the project managers, work with people who doesn't even know what design is all about. They might come to you and say that, hey, why did you put this red there, go for a green. Maybe you will get that scenario as well, but there, that is where you will have to work yourself out. Because it's a tough part, or that's the soft skill that you will have to learn when you work, or when you come into the industry. Yeah. So that is something, or you will definitely have to work that out. That soft skill is something that really matters. Communication is something very important when you come into a corporate job, because nobody's going to read your brain. Okay, nobody has the time to read your brain even. You should be very true, or very much transparent in the case, in the designing with everything. So playbacks are necessary with all the stakeholders, and that depends upon the project. And always, don't think that I know everything. You're out of the college, you are out of, you know something. No, you don't. That doesn't seem that you know everything, because I will tell you, design is not a recipe. It's not how you make sambar. It's not how you make chicken biryani. No, each and every scenario is different. Each and every problem statement is different. And for each and every problem statement, you will have to deliver or cater the design process accordingly. So don't always have the notion saying that, I know design. Why is it like this? Real-time experience is different from what you learn from the textbook. That is for true. So this is what you will have to expect from the industry, or you'll have to keep in mind that these are the things. You may hear that, one day a client comes and say, oh, the design that you have done is really good, and the next day maybe he'll come, I need a change in that, this is not so good. So you will be surprised, hey, he said that this is good, and now suddenly why is he saying that no, this is not something that he wanted? You always have to have one thing in mind. The client is not the ultimate person who is interacting with you. He also might have hierarchy. He has a boss of his to whom he shows the design, and maybe the boss says that I didn't like it. That also takes place where the ROI is not calculated. For design is not calculated. So there are places in the industry, or companies in the industry, where all the processes are not followed. There are places in the industry where only wireframing, visual design is done, and that's it for you, and they call that US user experience. So you will have to take care of all those things. And I just forgot to tell you one thing, about the designations. And you will see different designations in different company. So that is why you will have to read the description, what exactly you have to do. Design director in one company is something different from the design director in different another company. Okay, so you have to think about how that works, because that is not standardized yet. Across the industry, each company has its own way of designating people in the user experience right now. And people also call, I think that's the trend that the HRs have brought in, UX and UI designer. What I am a UX and UI designer. I don't know what that means. UX means definitely UX has a lot. UX designer means UX has a lot of things involved in it. Visual design, interaction design, content, a lot of things. Research. So UX designer means everything, right? So again comes UI design. So there are a lot of things that yet has to be standardized and will come into standardization soon, because this has just started. The curve has just started going up. So I think I have a few more minutes before I finish. Again, how to apply a job for the UX designers, and definitely how do you go for that is also one thing. I would say I personally would categorize attitude. Attitude is the first thing that I would definitely tell. Portfolio is a must-have. Networking is something that is really needed for you to get into the industry or getting doing there. For that, I'll tell you one thing: attitude matters. Why? Because whoever is there in the industry, if I am an experienced people with 15 years of experience, 17 years of experience, 20 years of experience, that doesn't matter. Each company works with and has its own business plan, its own way of working, everything. I should be able to change. I should be able to unlearn what I have learned and then relearn according to the circumstance that comes. And that is a mandate in this industry. And if you say that whatever I know, that is going to go. And if you close your door and sit with the door in your heart and say, no, nothing is going to enter into me, and this is what it is. I don't think that that is a good attitude. You will have to learn. You will have to grow accordingly, and that should be the mindset, or that should be the attitude that you should have when you are entering a corporate world or entering into any sort of a business. It's not just for UX design. This is for anything. Yeah, this happens, or this is the attitude. Good attitude is something that should be there for everywhere. Now you go for the short and crisp. Don't make 5-10 pages. Just imagine. I have seen this a lot. That is the reason why I'm just telling you. How do a person have time to read 10? I mean, for a post, I'll just tell you like this. If you are sending a post, I need a 5 years experience, user experience design, I'll get at least 50 resumes. And the person or the HR or the shortlisting person will not be able to read all the 4 or 5 pages. That is, he will not read it. That is for sure. So make it short and crisp. Don't write what you did in that. Just write what is necessary. Okay, just write what is necessary, and the necessary things are, we don't just write a little bit about yourself. Show your portfolio. That is really important. So that is an information hierarchy even that you should follow. So you'll get that a lot. So I would say definitely, when I look into a resume, it is very hard to find the number of years of experience that you have. I will have to read through that big paragraphs. Your name, just what you're good at. Or if you are a visual designer with 9 years of experience, keep that. That's brisk. A person will be able to read that out very, very easily. So user experience also works in the resume that you send to a company, right? You'll have to think in that perspective. It is not that, okay, I'm going to bombard everything that I know into this resume. No, I have seen people writing all the softwares that they know. See, that will backfire you as well. Yes, I have seen people who write, I don't know, every software in the industry, maybe. They have written every software, and they have written this 100%, that graph, right? 100% for Adobe Photoshop. I don't know if anybody would be able to understand 100% for Photoshop. I mean, that is too very difficult, and that doesn't make sense also. So just whatever, be crisp, make it sensible, be short and crisp. Yeah, and don't write it. And when you write something, be confident of what you write. Okay. And I have also seen people writing, interest photography. When I ask, what camera do you have? I don't have any camera, but I take photographs in my cell phone. Okay, fine. But see, when you say that you are a photographer, I mean, I'm not into that, because I myself am a photographer. I have won two awards, state awards in that. So I professionally or do wildlife photography. So I know what that means. I'm just taking an example of that. So people just for that sake write interest at photography, reading books, and I ask them, what books have you read, and the latest books that you have read, and it is hard for them to answer, right? So be genuine with your resume. Don't just bombard with whatever. Okay, if I add this also into that, that will make sense. No, don't do that. Okay, portfolio is a must-have. Now in this coming years, I have seen this as people have started including their portfolios, but still there are a percentage of people, 20-25% people who don't include their portfolio into the resume. No portfolio means that resume is not going to get shortlisted even in the first review. No portfolio then and there. Nobody's going to look at your name even. tuck, gone. Uh, say, yeah, and when you go to the interviews and all, people see if you are a fresher, if you have this much years of experience, if you don't know, tell that you don't know. That makes sense. Rather than most people, most people when I interview or when we interview, we tend to see that see that they know everything. See, like I just told you about the attitude. We don't want to have people who don't know everything yet. We understand that there will be gaps in the learning that we have done, in the way that we go. The people who interview you will get that. If you are telling a lie, if you are building up things, if you have not done anything, we will definitely get that. Or the people who are interviewing you will definitely know that, okay, fine, this guy doesn't know. So it is always good to have, see, I don't know this, yes, but I will definitely have that. I have this right now, I'll just definitely look into this, and just give them the confidence that you will definitely have that done, or you will learn it in the future. So that is the energy that you will have to give, rather than I mean, even if you don't know, speaking out there, okay, I know everything. No, 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 that is not the right attitude even. Okay, just tell what, be genuine, and make connections. That is how you enter, or switch companies, or that is how you make or know what is good in a company and what is bad in a company. Yeah, company in the sense the corporate world. So make a lot of connections, stay good with people, and also remember one thing: you're not going to be known for the projects that you did in a company. You're not going to known for the number of amount, or hey, this person brought in 7 million profit to the company. Nobody is going to know you for that. People are only going to know you for your attitude that you have towards the people. So that is what you'll have to remember. So that is something that I would like to talk about: the attitude, portfolio networking, or how to apply for a job, and what is the mindset that you have regarding that, and how to excel in your career as a UX designer. Is something, you have applied, you have gone into, or you have started your career and the boat started floating. And now what I have learned is it's experience, of course, that will reach you towards the top. Like I told you, when this particular thing, the experience, when I talk about the word experience, not the quantity of years that has accumulated in you. It should be the quality of experience that you have. Okay, the quality of works that you have done. I have worked for 20 years, and if somebody comes and asks me what are the two types of card sorting that you have, and say blah, 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 I don't know what that is. So try to be in different stages. Don't hesitate. Try to grab every opportunity that comes in your way. And I'll tell you one thing: no opportunity is going to come and knock at your door and say that, hey, I am an opportunity number one. Please come, please take me. Nobody is going to give you that. Always remember that there are a lot of opportunity in this user experience right now, user experience industry right now. Any industry, there is a lot of opportunity. Any company, there are opportunities. But the thing is that you will have to be, or you will have to be willing to take that opportunity up. Yes, I am very sure that you will fail. And I'm sure that going forward, I will also fail. But you will always have to remember that failure was the other word for success. Without failing, without knowing how you fail, you will not be able to go forward. So be ready to fail and learn. Don't, do that's a must. Practice and improve. Learn, practice again. Like I told you, learn, practice. So do that every time. Be updated. Read a lot of books. Talk to a lot of people. Get mentored by yourself, because in the industry it is rapidly changing. The industry is rapidly changing. You don't know how to go forward. Get mentored from experienced people, uh, people who know more about the industry or more about the position that you're working on. Yeah, and always remember that nothing is going to replace experience. Experience that people have is because they have worked. I mean, I told you, right, the quality of experience that they have. It's not just that, okay, I should always go and say, okay, if somebody who is 20 years of experience comes and says, do this like that, maybe he doesn't have that experience in that particular field. Maybe a 5 years experienced person do have something like that, and that experience is what has to speak rather than the number of or the quantity of experience that is there, right? So this is how you have to, or and like I always share it with people. I do, I and my friend is doing that initiative right now called Grow with Design or something, and Grow with Design, and it's something that we give back to the society, you know, and share it with people. That will enable you to get updated. That will enable you to be with the industry, know the latest trends, everything, trend, everything. Talk to people, and don't do that in a hurry, burry. Wait, take time. Yeah, take a little bit of time. Know yourself. What interests me the most, or what am I good at? And then try to polish those things in a very good manner. Try to do that. Learn is what is needed, and practice what you have learned. Even if you don't have opportunity, some people, I have heard some people saying that my company didn't give me an opportunity to work in user experience design, and that is why I don't know user experience design. See, it is you who have to work. You have to have that user experience job. No company is going to change their goals for you. They will be having a business goal, and they will be running into that. So they will not be shifting it to what you have, right? So if you have a goal that you want to be a user experience design, it is you who have to find the problem statement, you who have to learn it, you who have to make a case study. A portfolio means case study. I mean there are a lot of varieties that you can make a portfolio on of, and you have to, how you make that, how you crack the interview. So it's not the company's job to give you training on that or opportunity to do that, right? So always look, or think in that perspective when you have this. Hmm? And with that, I think, it's almost 50 minutes, and I'll 45 minutes was the slide for, and I am right now open for questions. Please shoot it.
No. Yeah. Hi, Anil. Thanks a lot. And I think this is the first workshop where we had so much communication and exchange of ideas in the chat section. If you just see the number of chats or the messages we might have received over there, I think that's great. But just before we proceed to the Q&A session, I'll just take a few minutes from all of you. I know most of you are already aware about ProApp, but for those who are new to it, and I see many new names right now. So ProApp is a place to learn all things design, which help you kickstart your design journey and grow as a designer. Currently, we have 75 plus design courses and more coming, just like business of design, fine arts, and many more. We conduct weekly workshops with design experts like Anil himself, and we are constantly evolving and on a mission to make design learning accessible and affordable. So we are also coming up with some great video content, since many of you have already asked for that, and many more interesting pieces. So since you guys have supported us for so long, and especially our pro veterans who are always there in each and every workshop. So I just share a quick link. We are offering a 95% discount on our lifetime premium membership. I'll quickly share the link in the chat section with a coupon code attached to it. You can save the link, check it out. In the meanwhile, we'll take the Q&A section. Cool.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's start. I think the first question that was very debatable in the chat section is, why does designers always prefer Mac?
That is also something which for me, I'll tell you. For me, what I have learned is, or what, even I use a Mac,
Right.
and the accessories being the magic mouse, everything, it's so compactable, and you don't have to troubleshoot every time. It's sustainable, and it doesn't hang. I don't know. I haven't used any other Windows product. I'm not blaming any Windows or anything. I'm not a brand ambassador of anything, but Me personally, this is the most comfortable thing that I have used.
Right.
As a designer, I am able to use it very easily. The experience is really good. Maybe that is the
Right.
reason. And the color precisions that we get in a Mac right now, I think most of the computers do have that, but most of the laptops maybe they have that. But it is really good. Even if I check it in any Android or any application, any device, the color precision is really good. Okay, I mean, anything that you do, that is really good for me. And there are people who definitely. This is of course a debatable topic if Mac is good or Windows is good, but for me, I love to use Mac, of course. And the performance is really good.
Right. I think the ecosystem covers for everything. So
Correct, correct, correct.
if I'm drawing something on the iPad, I can quickly shift to my Mac without any
Definitely,
hindrance or
definitely. Even
anything.
if you are, even if you are working something for an iPhone, you can always
Right.
work. You can see it out over here. See if everything is
Right.
fine. Even though I know the guidelines for Apple and everything, definitely I can have it tested then and there. It's so easy. You can have that
Right. Right.
in Android and others also. But I
Hmm.
feel more comfortable with this. That is what.
Right. Okay. The next one is, what do you think, can AI replace designers, or the future of AI for designers?
The future of AI for designers is definitely see that is also a debatable topic to me. Everybody is really scared about AI. It is a dangerous thing that is coming up. Even I am working in data and AI right now, but it definitely depends upon the business goal of a company whether it is
Hmm.
dangerous or not.
Right.
Other than that, you don't have to get threatened for that. They can give you insights, but I don't think that design. I mean, even if they are going to replace that, there is something that is going to come up. For design, I don't think that the creativity from a human being can be replaced. I have seen a lot. I have seen a lot that has come up in the meantime. But to be really creative or to give that emotions and all those things, I think definitely we have to empathize really hard.
Okay, another one from the chat section. It's from Akhil. I know this is a session for UX beginners, but could you please give some points on how UX can be applied in a B2B environment?
UX can be, sorry, can you please come in? Can you
Yeah, yeah.
implement it in B2B environment?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, B2B environment in a digital way, right? Can
Mm-hmm.
you clarify that in a digital way? Because when you talk about user experience can be done everywhere, and
Right,
that would
right,
be means if it is. Can you please specify if you are looking into a digital environment or any other thing?
right. I think he's looking for a digital environment only. B2B applications. That's what he mentioned.
B2B applications, yes,
Right.
definitely. See, B2B applications, that is what I told you. When I just spoke about the beginning of the user experience, see, that was
Mm.
in the industry sectors like Henry Ford and all those guys were trying to make work more easy for them, for their employees, so that productivity increases.
Right,
The same thing is happening right now. The
right,
same is happening right now because most people are trying to make their workflow, okay, in a company more transparent, more effectively. I mean, the decision making happens more effectively. For that, definitely, those are the problems that we have to solve in a B2B environment. Okay, B2E, B2B, everything happens there. Business to employees, business to business, all these things, decision making, everything is there. And mostly, if you go to consulting organizations, and I mean, I'm not talking about any consulting or any product, but mostly the ask is for such things. I was working in Europe for quite a while, and I have seen that there are a lot of opportunities in user experience improvement. Not only, even there are big companies that still work with pen and paper.
right,
The
right,
digitalization has to happen. The user experience should be there. So a large scope. And there are
right,
companies that have different sub brands, which still
right,
they don't have a unified way of user experience. Everything is different.
Hmm.
So it does, there is a lot of scope for B2B. I mean, it's not the scope, it's only
Hmm.
scope, because most
Plus,
of them have I mean, the transition hasn't happened yet, and it is just going to begin, I would say. And the corona is a trigger point.
right. And I think the audience also varies. Maybe in the B2B setup, the learning curve and the guides that you provide, in terms of that, as in the factors which you use for a B2C application, in training the user would be different for a B2B application because they would already know the process, right? They would
Definitely.
already,
See,
yeah.
B2B process might be different, right? Because it depends upon
Hmm.
the size of the product, I would say. Okay, if a
Right.
B2B the product is very huge, then definitely there is a learning curve.
Hmm.
You can't
Hmm.
say it for every application. You can generalize that predictability and things like that, because it happens with the process, it happens with the predict I mean the size of the application. So to be very short, it is the problem statement that defines if there is a learning curve for a software or a product, a B2C product or a B2B product. So that is something that we'll have to
Hmm.
think, or that definitely depends upon the size and the goal that you are going to give this cater to. See, we can only remember a certain amount of thing from our human brain, right? So beyond that, if it happens, definitely you will have to learn. Even if
Cool.
if I
It's
ask somebody, tell me all the features that Facebook has, it is
hmm.
difficult for everybody to list that out. Even Facebook is investing a lot of amount in user experience because it is
Right. Right.
expanding day by day. So it depends. For a newcomer for Facebook, maybe there is no one, but there
Right.
there will be newcomers for Facebook at every application. So it is evolving, and the
Hmm.
bigger the size, you will have to learn it, and how you learn it depends.
Hmm. That's also right. Okay. Being an intermediate self-taught designer with 1 to 2 years of professional experience, what are the things to do in order to enhance your UI UX knowledge or taking a career leap?
uh, Being an intermediate self-taught designer with, can you please repeat that once again?
Yeah, what are the things to do for an intermediate self-taught designer in order to enhance the UI UX knowledge for taking a career leap?
Learn, practice.
Hmm.
This is the time when you have to learn. 1 to 2 years experience is not an intermediate. I would say you are starting your career.
Hmm. Hmm.
1 and 2 years will just run like this. So one project and all you work, you will learn something, but you'll have to have different problem statement come through, or go through you to get that experience, or everything. See, it's not just a problem statement.
Hmm.
It's also something, the ecosystem that you're working in. You'll have to learn that as well, right? Your the process of a company, all those things you will have to learn. How a methodology is being used by a particular company, all those things you will have to learn. It's not just a problem statement, are you designing something? No, no, no. So everything counts, not just the design that you're going to do. That is not just what experience means. Experience means interacting with people, how you are going to deal the situation, how you are going to see the problem, how you are going
Hmm.
to find the real problem. When you speak those in terms, technically when you speak, if you are considering the loop methodology for IBM, how you are going to figure out a hill, or how you're going to derive a hill, how you're going to practice the reflect phase, how you're going to do the observe phase. All these things do get practice. It's practice and experience. So learn and practice things. That is what I would say, because other than that, learning can be done in different way,
Hmm.
in the sense you can have this learned through your mentors, you can have it learned through your colleagues, you can have it learned through a lot of articles. See, right now there are a lot of medium where you can learn all these things. I'm not just boasting things, but see, when I was starting my career, when I was in college, I used to learn. I learned it by myself. I learned design by myself, because there was no other colleges that was catering to design in Kerala, maybe
Hmm.
they one, two or three colleges, but that too was towards leaning towards the art industry. I mean, ad industry and things like that. But other than that, there's no such things that I think there was Arena Multimedia or something at that point of time, but I don't know if there were any others. But still, at that point of time, we just had floppies. I used to spend money going to the internet cafe and copying that into the floppies and then learning. So learn right now you have a lot of things in the net. You can just type anything in the what do you say YouTube, you can have it everything for free. There is a lot of
Mm.
things in Udemy. There is a lot of things in the app that you provide, the courses that ProApp provides.
Right.
A lot of platforms are available right now to learn things. So and LinkedIn and such platforms are there to get connected with people. ADP
Mm.
list is where I mentor a lot. There are a lot of people who come there and ask them. So there are a lot of platforms for people right now to learn. So that is not a restriction. The only thing is that
Mm.
the right mindset that you have to have for learning.
Right. Uh, Possible, like if you could provide tips for making portfolio when you're working on a projects where you have signed an NDA and you cannot use any of the visual designs.
Yeah, most people do have that. Most people find that really hard. And
Hmm.
I myself have found it really hard. And the only solution that you can do is definitely see when you are working for a company, do it with all your heart. Okay,
Hmm.
obey the rules. I would say
Right.
don't obey the rules. I mean, because they aren't signing something like that because there is something when there is something towards it. It's not because
Hmm.
you should not take anything out and stuff like that, right? So
Right.
there should be something that you'll have to learn. So respect that. And what I would say is, what I would say is make projects by yourself. Okay, what usually we do is we take a problem statement by ourselves. For example, I'll just give you an example. Okay, for the last mentoring session that I mean, the current mentoring session that I'm doing, this is one of the problem statement. Just redefine the ATM interface that you have or ATM interface. Okay, that is a problem statement. Now work upon that. Make a case
Hmm.
study of yourself. So that is a portfolio for you. There is nobody coming. That is a portfolio for yourself. You're going to do it by yourself. So nobody can complain that put green there instead of red. No, you can have all the process done with your wish, your engagement, your thought process with the research that you are going to do. So that will be your best case study. And definitely at least make at least 4 or 5 case studies, and the first 3 should be your best case studies.
Right.
Nobody is going
And
to
I'll
ask you, okay, do it this way, do it that way. Do it.
hmm.
The freedom is yours.
Right. And also, I think you can just mention the industry as well. If it is
Yes,
that you have worked for this industry, if you cannot showcase the visual design, at least in the interview, you can use your thought process at that time. Right.
definitely. Don't see if you have signed an NDA. Please don't take
Yes.
the name of clients and all those things because it has been signed because of a reason. It is not to
Right. Right.
disturb you. It is not to disturb you. There is a reason for that. So respect that. That is what I would say.
Uh, okay. How can design, as in UI UX, solve the problem and how to measure it? Okay, starting
Measurement is
from
also
zero.
a research. Yeah,
Right.
measurement is also a research. How to solve a problem. I will have to take a lot of time in teaching you the methodologies, uh, different type of methodologies, and how each methodologies work, and what is best for which one, and how to So that and all is a long session. So definitely, if ProApp have another session, yes, definitely we will come into that. But how it does and how it is measured is definitely, see, measurement is, you can't give a solution for an application. Solution is a small process, step by step
Hmm.
process in design. It's not tuck, the solution is there. No, that is where that is where the thought process is getting changed. When you look at design thinking phase or any design thinking methodology that we are going to use, or methods that we are going to use, definitely we'll have to take small steps, right? We'll have to think of various aspect, like definitely we are going to place the user in front. We'll
Hmm.
have to think about the feasibility. We'll have to think about the viability of the product, the desirability
Hmm.
of the product, and only then we can make a product.
Right.
Okay, to live in a peaceful life, I have to go to the Mars and then sleep there. Will that be possible right now? See, we have to consider different aspects, right?
Right.
So those are the aspects that you would have to learn. I mean, that is the learning curve that you will have, or the change, unlearn and learn, like what I just told you before. That is where you will have to have that. And how you measure it is definitely by research, user
Hmm.
testing. When you are considering the user in the front, definitely you will have to test with the user and check the quantitative, I mean, quantitative research data also you will have to check. Like, is it getting converted? Is the button doing a good job? Are the user going into the right direction? So everything is being tested. You will have to test it in regular interval, and then you will have to get the data, and then you will know, okay, where to improve, and that improvement happens. And this is not a one time solution that you're going to put. This is a slow process that is going to happen. Yeah.
Cool. We'll take the another one from the chat section. Even though there are different levels of interview to find how skilled the candidate is, does company value more for professional degrees over the skills of candidate?
That is a tough question to answer. So I'll give it in you two different ways. My perspective is, I don't care if you are from NID, IIT, or whatever college in the world you are. I don't care. But if you are good at your attitude, and if you have a strong portfolio, and if you tell that, okay, you are good in doing design, or if you are able to prove that, I don't care if you don't have a degree at all.
Right.
But you will have to communicate also. Okay, that is also a good thing. Communication in the sense that doesn't mean that you have to talk good English. Communication is different, language is different. So learn those. Take into sense, that is my perspective towards grabbing talents. But there are knobs from companies that some companies say that you'll have to have 50% for your 10th, 12th degree, everything, plus three, all those. That depends upon the company. You have no, or we don't have any role in that. The policies are such, and most of the companies do that. And there are certain companies which are changing the rules or the
Mhm.
policies regarding this. And so that's an answer that I would give you. If you ask a personal question to me, I don't care if you don't have a degree at all, but these things, like I just mentioned, should be good. if, and if you have, to me personally, if you have a good portfolio, if you do any work that you is given to you, if you are good at communication, and if your attitude is wrong, no, it's a big no. Even the design industry is in high demand. I would say
Hmm.
no.
I think being connected with a design agency for so long, even we have hired people without considering if they have any degrees or not. I think ProApp started on the basis of that, because most of the designers, and I'm talking to like engineers turned designers, because design has recently evolved in last, I think I won't even say 10 years. Last 5 to 7 years is the time
Design was
span.
always there.
As
Design
in
was
terms
always
of
there. The
when people
popularity,
actually, right, the popularity, when they started
the
acknowledging the
popularity.
value, acknowledging the
That we
value.
will have to, yeah, for that we'll
Right.
have to talk about the difference between art and design. In my time, and if I draw or paint something, my mother and my father will say, what are you doing? Go and study. Right now, people are studying, parents will come, don't study, go and draw or go and
Right.
play. So see, it's the exposure that you have
Right.
towards the world that is changing things, right?
Cool. I'm confident and have experience and even get specialized for 5 months in UI UX. Still, I'm getting rejection. Why?
Sorry, once more, you have.
Uh, I think the question is from Pragya. She's saying she's confident and have experience and even get specialized for 5 months in UI UX. Still, she's getting rejections.
It's part of the game. Don't get don't be down. See, I am telling you, right? So this is something that goes with everyone. Be consistent is what I would say in any industry that you are. Yes, you will face rejections. I have faced rejections in my early career. It's not that, I know everything. No, yeah, it doesn't work in that way. You are having rejections because of certain factors. Just try to decode that. Okay. Then you will be able to correct that and then go in the right direction. If you say that I am getting rejections, I will not be able to tell you, okay, do this and you will not get rejected. There is no formula for that, right? You'll have to you'll have to decode those. Okay, what did you say there? What was that interview process? All those things we have to check to say that, okay, what make or what has to be changed. Correct. So
Yeah.
yes, definitely. Keep on trying, decode yourself, get a mentor. I'll tell you the best advice would be go to a mentor who is well experienced. Share whatever you have openly. Don't hide things, okay? Because if you hide things that you have, then nobody will be able to give you a genuine advice, and that will not work even. So give them, be transparent with them, and these mentors, they know the industry well, so they will tell you how it works. Okay, so don't worry about being rejected. See, this happens everywhere. This happens with
Mm.
every people. Nobody succeed. The biggest psychology is that people will only speak about their success. Nobody is going to tell about their failure. So me as such, or even whoever is in this world, only see success from other people. They don't see failures. And the truth is that 90% of the time people fail, and it is
Mm.
just 10% that people succeed. So don't worry to fail, or don't be nervous or say, oh my God, I am failing this time. Don't worry, that happens. No worries at all. Right? Try.
Cool. I think the next one is a big question. First of all, thank you so much, Mr. Anil, for the insightful presentation. It means so much to me as a beginner in UI UX. I want to ask some questions. The first one is, when a company is recruiting a designer, what kind of portfolio do they usually prefer or like?
What kind of portfolio do you prefer is like, it depends upon, see, that is what I told you, right? If you're going to give you, if you're going to send okay, I'll just give you one thing. There were circumstances when I see people applying for lead UX designers, and when we interview, they say that they haven't. Oh my God, I don't want that. They're really afraid, even though they don't say that openly, but we can figure that out. You'll have to apply for the right thing, like I told you. See, these all
Mm.
happens. We can only, or people can only, or companies can only take in people according to the requirement. So if there is a requirement for a visual designer, don't give all the wireframes in the portfolio and then say that you are a visual designer. Okay. Your portfolio, your resume should be a match to the requirement.
Mm.
Maybe in this time, I would say one resume for all opening is not the right thing to do. That is also a debatable topic, but according to me, I will not tell that one resume apps everyone. Make a resume for the job description. That is what even I would suggest for everybody. Because if I look at a job, I should feel that, okay, hey, this guy is, or this resume speaks the language of what I
Mm.
need. See, just imagine this way: if you're going to a shop and you need some sabji, and that shop owner, when you ask about that, is giving you another list. I mean, will you be taking them, or will you be clutching to him for a long time? No, you just go from there, then and there itself, right? It's the same thing.
Okay. The what context should we include on a portfolio so that we can make a good portfolio?
What context in the sense, see, it again depends upon the if you're a visual designer and you have a portfolio that focus more. If you're making a case study, yes, you should. I will always give a weightage to a person who know other things also, like interaction designing, research a little bit. And if he is focused on visual design, then that definitely makes sense. And the visual design part of that should be very strong.
Hmm.
Strong visually. Visually strong means it doesn't mean that it should look pleasing, but as a user experience design, the whispering of words, the shouting of letters,
Right.
the how you use colors,
Hmm.
where it is placed, how you are communicating the visual with the user. Everything matters a lot. So focus on that.
Okay. If we showcase a case study, should we show the entire thought process or not?
See, that is what I told you. If you are a beginner, I would definitely tell you that you work with everything, man. Just you work with research, you work with interaction design, and showcase whatever you have done in your portfolio, so that you will also find that, okay, this is good. Okay, this is a teamwork. I would tell you, if you only do visual design, you are not going to know what the user researchers are doing,
Hmm.
what the interaction designers are doing, how are they coming up with all these ideas, how are they coming up with this information architecture or anything, and you will start complaining at the end. And I have seen this a lot of times. So knowing this will help you in understanding their context also. And also when you work as a team, it is always good that you go there and work with them also to understand the entire thing. If you
Hmm.
just work as a visual designer, if you just work as something or an interaction designer or a researcher, you're not going to learn entire stuff. You have to know the picture, of course, right. Just think about this. You're going to build a building, and you are a painter to that. Hmm? Without knowing what texture you're going to paint and what things, it doesn't make sense. You just go there, put the putty or whatever it is, and then go back. You will not be able to know what I have to apply, how I'll have to do this. All those things you'll have to know according to the how the building is built, right? So
Right.
it is necessary for that. It is necessary that you go everywhere and then work, but you focus on one thing. That is good. Focus is really something that is important. That is how
Hmm.
you will have to grow your career. But in the beginning phases, before you don't make a decision then and there. Okay, I'm going to be a visual designer. Try learning all these things and slowly take that leap. Once you are into a company, then definitely there will be chance for you to switch. Most companies allow you that. You are a visual designer, after 1 or 2 years, you find it, or you want to, you find that you are more comfortable with the research, you want to do a research, yes, they will be happy to do that.
You're right. Uh, I think that was one of the last question. I have one more question. So we get this common question from a lot of designers and even the students from our past workshops. As in, how is it different for an individual or a designer to work in a product design company, in a product company or a service company? Does the role vary, or does the experiences vary? And where should I join? Is it a product company or a service company, right? So that's
Good question. Good question. That's something that I wanted to tell, but something that I just missed out. I have worked with both. So a consulting company or a service company is where you will not be able to do everything that you want in user experience. But the I mean, and there are pros and cons to both.
hmm,
Okay, I'll tell you something. When you are in a service company, you're catering it to a client. You do the work for the client, finish it, and the responsibility is gone. You don't have a
hmm,
responsibility after that, because the contract for the other stuff would be with another company maybe.
hmm,
Okay, with the maintenance and all those stuff. So you don't want to care about that. But when you go to a product company, you are responsible for what you're going to do, because
hmm,
each and every month you are going to release me. That depends upon the company's vision for each and every release. Uh, each and every release will have, they will have, you will have to think, you will be responsible for the designs that you are going to do. You'll
hmm,
have to work closely with the research team. You'll have to work closely with the visual designers, maybe with everybody. You'll have to document everything. The
hmm.
both are entirely different, I would say. But if you have to learn a lot, if you have to, you know, if you have to be very agile, if you have to be very, say, do something in a very short period of time, and if you have to get that agility into you, then definitely the service oriented companies are the best, because the
Right.
requirement comes to you like, this is a pain point and I want to have this delivered yesterday. And there goes. There you will have to look, or you'll have to, strategize, work for long hours. Those are really good in the beginning phase, man. It's not bad. Whatever
Hmm.
you do is going to reflect in a good way when you grow up the ladder. So when you look into that is two answers. And in service company, it depends. In consulting organizations, or service companies like TCS, Wipro, where you're going to end up is a problem. Like
Hmm.
I just told you, most of the companies have started to, you know, give importance to user experience, and started the maturation phase is also happening there. Now, most of the
Hmm.
companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Capgemini, they are acquiring studios.
Hmm.
Accenture,
Yeah.
they have acquired. TCS have acquired. Infosys have acquired. So all these
Hmm.
are acquiring studios, and they are building up their UX maturity, or improving their UX maturity. Now, if you land up in those studios, that is good for you. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not telling it good for you. That gives you more advantage, because
Hmm.
you will be working with a team of designers.
Right.
Same companies will be having openings for UX designers in their verticals for a project. Maybe just take a client XYZ, and they have an opening for UX design. So
Hmm.
if you are there, and you might be the lone UX designer there, and
Hmm.
maybe you will have to you will have to, hear the project manager's word saying that, okay, do this, do that, do this in this way. Like I told you, the maturation is just happening, right? So there will be a stage where all the designs come under one roof. That is not going to
Hmm.
happen one day, in a day.
Hmm.
It will happen, but the time, it will take time. Okay.
Right.
But when you, and the maturity of design in such organization is will not be as far when you compare it to the product team. And when I tell
Hmm.
you product team, product organizations, every product organization doesn't have that.
Hmm.
Okay. Only organizations that take up, like I told you in the first phase, those take up that 7% will have that. Their hierarchy level is very much set. They have a very predefined or very well-defined hierarchy, the very well-defined process for designers. The design will have a very huge value in that organization, because that is giving a lot of return of investment for them. So you will have to think what kind of a product environment I will have to go to.
Right. And also, I think with the service companies, there's one more thing that you get to work maybe in different industries or with different
Yes, yes, yes.
industries.
That is something which is very important. Yes,
Right.
service industry will give you the main advantage. One of the main advantages that you will be able to, go to different industries. You'll get to do a lot of case studies. You'll get it from banking and finance, life science, manufacturing,
Healthcare.
XYZ, anything that, healthcare. You'll get a lot of opportunities in diving into each and every area.
Right.
That is a very good point. Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
That is the thing. But when you come to
Hmm.
the product, that will the what the product is catering, that will be the only vertical or the industry that you'll be working for.
But there, what will happen is you'll work very closely with other teams, like with the dev team. So you'll learn how to do better handoffs. You'll be working very closely with the stakeholders, so you'll understand their point of view. So those are
Definitely,
some of
definitely.
the perks of the product
Service
company.
industry would be like a coral. Service industry, mostly I have seen it to be like a coral, because of the maturity is getting developed right now.
Right,
Because the
right.
maturity is low, and the mostly the demand, or the focus of the business goal of the company is more into the development phase, and design is just being seen as a good to have. Still, maybe it is improving. It is improving,
Right.
but we can't ignore the fact that it is not being giving the right importance that this time has to have. Uh,
Hmm.
at that point, definitely, the friction happens with the stakeholders. But in product, it is a must that we'll have to be cohesive with each other and then move forward,
Hmm.
being on the same platform. Everybody be on the same platform, and then that is the maturity. I mean, that is what I told you about the maturity level.
Right.
The maturity level depends upon how an organization sees design, how
Hmm.
important design is. And that is seen when they get the right kind of ROI.
Hmm.
After all, it's all business.
Cool. I think we do not have any further questions, but it was a very refreshing session for me as well. I think getting some insights from you, I also learned something new today. And I think thank you so much, Anil. Thank you so much for this conversation, for this session, and helping the community grow stronger. And thank you for your contribution to it. Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you very much.
I just forgot to share the link to your LinkedIn profile so that people can reach out to you later if they want to speak to you, connect with you. I'm just sharing it over here in the chat. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
please feel free to do that. And if you would like to stay in touch with me, then definitely I'm available in LinkedIn and all other platforms. I will be in the name of Neelag and this logo. And I don't usually speak a lot about design in other platforms because those platforms are, I think I branded it for photography that I do.
Right. No, no, you have a pretty interesting profile. I just talked you.
So yes, those are the things, and I am not too active in other social media. It's just
Right.
LinkedIn that I'm active in, and yes, part of being focused.
Cool. Thank you so much for today. And
Thank you very much for listening to this long blabber that I have made. Hope that was
oh no,
insightful
no.
for you guys.
It was
And
a
yeah,
therapeutic talk.
thank you very much. For ProApp, for the whole team. Who have put this effort and really love the way that you guys work. Thank you very much, and
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
guys. Yeah, thank you guys for
Have a,
listening to. Thank.
have a great
Bye.
weekend, everyone. Bye bye.